A very good afternoon to you and welcome to your lunch primetime news. You're with me, Aisha Rapinto. Let's start off with a look at the headlines. Cabinet bill to abolish the executive presidency and introduce a new constitution will be presented to the cabinet tomorrow. Statement from the president. Fast by the inmates detained under the Prevention of Terrorism Act called off. 21,000 persons moved to shelters as a result of inclement weather. Over 100,000 persons affected. Exercise held as search for landslide survivors continues in East China. In your local news, a cabinet paper on the introduction of a new constitution abolishing the executive presidency will be presented to the cabinet tomorrow. The president made this announcement at the event to provide dual citizenship, which was held at the Prime Minister's office at Temple Trees.
The event, which was held under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena, saw the participation of a number of dignitaries, including the Prime Minister. 2,000 persons were provided with dual citizenship at the event.
Jenara Saumati Silva.
ජනාධිපති ධූරය අවෝසි කර නව ආණ්ඩුක්‍රම ව්‍යවස්ථාවක් සම්පාදනය කිරීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්
As a government, the Prime Minister and myself discussed on abolishing the executive presidency and introducing a new constitution. I will present a special cabinet bill on this matter at the cabinet meeting that will be convened tomorrow. This is in order to abolish the executive presidency and vest those executive powers with the parliament and the other respective institutions. I will also introduce a special cabinet bill on the electoral reforms at tomorrow's cabinet meeting. We need to abolish the preferential voting system and ensure that a free and fair election is held in the country devoid of corruption and other malpractices, so that the people can elect the persons to the institutions.
පාලකයින් නායකයින් ආණ්ඩු ආයතන තෝරාපත් කර ගැනීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය මැතිවරණ ක්‍රමයක් සම්බන්ධයෙන්.
The fast by the inmates arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism Act has been called off. Commissioner General of Prisons Rohana Pushpakumara said the fast was called off this morning. The office of the opposition leader reported that the fast has been temporarily called off until the 15th of next month. The inmates of Batiklo, Anuradhapura, Jaffna and Colombo magazine prisons engaged in a fast demanding for their release with no conditions. 39 inmates who were arrested under the Prevention of Terrorism Act have been released on bail so far. The Department of Meteorology says the low pressure which developed into a depression in the Bay of Bengal will have no impact on Sri Lanka. The Disaster Management Centre states that around 17,000 persons are housed at relief camps owing to the prevalent inclement weather. The centre also states that more than 100,000 people have been affected. However, the floods in a number of areas are receding.
The floods that prevailed in the Putlam district is now receding. All the tanks in the Putlam district were at spill level as a result of the heavy rains. The Disaster Management Centre in the Putlam district stated that 14 spill gates of the Rajangane reservoir, 7 spill gates of the Dadruoya and 8 spill gates of the Thabova reservoir remain open. The Old Manor Road in the Elwankolama remains inundated as a result of the rising water levels of the Kala Oya. Our correspondent said that vehicular movement on the Putlam Manor Road was disrupted. The floods reported in several areas in Anuradhapura is currently receding. The spill gates of several reservoirs still remain open due to the increase in water levels in the reservoirs as a result of the inclement weather. Floods on the Meentale to Kaliawa road has reduced. This is the manner in which the water levels on the Dutuwava Galin Bindunuwava road, which was submerged due to the overflow of the Gatilava River, has decreased. The Met Department states that showers or thunder showers will develop at several places of the island, particularly after 4 p.m. Showers will occur at several places in the coastal areas of the Western Province and Galle and Mathura districts. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers, and the general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize lightning-related accidents.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that owing to essential maintenance work, a 12-hour water cut will take place in a number of areas including Moratua and Piliyandala from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. today.
Accordingly, the water cuts will take place in areas belonging to the Moratua Municipal Council as well as Watmalana, Kesalwata, Waigama, Bantawagama, Valimilla, Kumukka, Horna and Morontutu areas. According to the Water Supply and Drainage Board, Piliyandala, areas belonging to the Kesbaba Municipal Council, Polgasovita, Simbalanguda, Watara, Willawala, Ambalanguda, Herayawala, Palagama, Diakada and surrounding areas will also experience water cuts.
Minister of Fisheries Mahinda Amaravira says Sri Lanka will not request the Government of India to release fishing trawlers and equipment that belong to the Sri Lankan fishermen under Indian custody for breaching maritime boundaries. Fisheries Minister Mahinda Amaravira added equipment belonging to Indian fishermen under Sri Lankan custody will not be released. The 36 Sri Lankan fishermen who were under Indian custody and later released will return to the island over the next few days. Minister Amaravira said the financial cost of their return will be borne by the government. The fishermen are residents of Negombo, Mathura and Jaffna areas. And that's a wrap of your lunchtime news. Join us again at 1:55 for more of the latest. I'm Aishwarya Pinto for News First.